Complete opposite direction right now. Here, Gina Ursula here in Traverse. Welcome into the studios this afternoon. Coming up straight up 3 o'clock. Let's kind of reset here at the top of the hour. Where do we stand with this storm? Now, we are still at the beginning stages of the storm coming in. Winds increase throughout the day, and pockets of intense rain and winds are already occurring. The strongest wind gusts could even come with some of the strongest storms. The timing now going all the way into Thursday morning. And the tornado threat, unfortunately, with a tornado watch that's gone up, the highest will be coming in late this afternoon and going into the evening hours. 3 o'clock update, the National Hurricane Center updating the storm every hour until official landfall will be made. That's the center of the eye wall coming and making landfall. The edge of the eye wall is just coming to make landfall in maybe portions of Terrebonne Parish in areas of the outer bayous and marshy areas. Feeder bands already, those have produced some spin-up tornado potential, and there's already been at least one tornado warning today. Do you want to show the winds at 90 miles per hour with the latest update? And the pressure's dropped 1 millibar, so still a little strengthening right before making its way here to the coast. An eventual landfall now picking up 17 mile per hour northeastward movement. Actually, with the latest track, National Hurricane Center says due north movement, shown here. Wednesday still at 7 o'clock, making landfall with that intensity of 90 mile per hour winds. This will hold on to tropical storm strength all the way as it makes its way through. And with the track more west now of Morgan City, it looks to be some areas are out of the direct path, which actually might bode well for some of our bayou parishes and river parishes. Terrebonne, Lafourche, and then as we look to St. James, U3 might be a little bit on the less intense side of winds, and maybe we push that a little farther west for you. Fortunately, as we go up close to Tangipahoa Parish, you're also maybe improving a little bit better, but you could come up in the northern parts to be clipping a little bit more with the intense winds as they roll through. There's the tornado watch for everybody until 11 o'clock. Obviously, weather alert dates for Hurricane Francine that's moving through and all the impacts associated with it. What are we doing with the current winds? They're ramping up already in the city, 20, 24, 18 mile per hour winds at the airport locations. Bogalusa wind to 10. Galliano wind to 17 and Hammond wind to 12 as well. The wind gusts highest at Lakefront at 47 and at Armstrong International at 37. Wind speeds will continue to increase with gusts that might be on the order of 50 to 60 or 60 to 70, even here in the city and the metro coming in later on today. So there's the wind impact. Rainfall. Already had a lot of significant rainfall, but it's the tornado threat that really to me is grabbing attention that shows it's got the potential to really ramp up and have more individual cells rotate as we go this afternoon through this evening hours. But there's the rainfall, and look at the reconfiguration of the rainfall on the heaviest track. We look towards St. James and St. John the Baptist, and look maybe even northern Lafourche and Terrebonne, and even parts of the North Shore shown here could be getting in that quarter of that 4 to 8 inch rain total that might be having some pockets of 10 inches or a little bit more here too. Peak storm surge. This is something that's been upgraded too, and I'm going to get back and show you some high-res storm surge maps in just one moment. But a radar tour, there is a look at the radar with that most intense outer band just becoming on shore here into the outer marshy areas, Terrebonne Parish. What are we looking at? Any storms here that come out to me in the feeder bands that started to rotate. Nothing individually that sticks out right now. Just had a round of some intense rain, moved right on through the city. That's why those gusty winds reported at the airports, 47, 37 miles per hour. Each one of those intense rain bands as they're moving through will bring that wind gust potential too. Downpours with these could be on the order of 3 to 4 inches per hour. We're looking at Burlington, heavy rain and gusty winds from Causeway all the way through. It looks to be, I think, Causeway traffic shut down anyway too. We've got all the restrictions in place at least. And then we've got the gusty winds associated with it, so you'd really have to be careful. But we're all staying in and doing our thing right now and keeping it with WDSU News. Here we go. Thibodaux, Raceland, Lockport, and Houma. Gusty winds and some of the strongest winds with the first bands making the way on shore for you here too. I want to show with the outer band features if some of these are starting to show some signs of waterspout and that might move on shore. Right now, there's a lot of drier air working in the radar imagery here. So we got a band of intense rain that's already upon us, some feeder bands out ahead of the main part of the storm where we get more rain. Right now, there's kind of a lull in that tornado potential, which is actually a good thing. Rainfall estimates so far, 3 inches along the coast, 2 inches farther north, and about 1 to 2 as we go from the North Shore to South Shore. First flash flood warnings have gone up. This is around Morgan City. Flood advisory has gone up for the city, as you can see. That will be ongoing throughout the next few hours until 4:45. How about the wind gusts? Bowie wind gust reporting 43-mile-per-hour wind gust, and that's right in line for possible landfall. Grand Isle reporting the Bowie at 30-mile-per-hour wind gust, and there's other wind gusts across the region with a 43 at Morgan City. But here's that storm surge forecast. I want to show some areas with the upgrade in the storm surge for Lake Pontchartrain driving the winds for a long enough period of time. It looks to be the northern part of the shore. You've got some storm surge potential and inundation. I'm going to show you some of the cities that could be affected and maybe some of your neighborhoods. If you're living in these areas next to the water in Madisonville, you got to look out for some water. It could be upwards of 1 to 3 feet. In the yellow, we're looking at 3 to 6 feet. Might have total inundation to Lee's Landing here too. Wait for a moment for some of the information to populate, but we have seen a lot of yellow. I've looked at some of the individual data at about 3 to 6 feet there in Lee's Landing. So there is going to be some inundation to the North Shore. It's always been that the strongest of the, and the heaviest and the worst of the storm surge, we're looking 1 to 3 feet for Grand Isle. But as we go closer to Morgan City, we see Houma, Raceland, Lockport, we've got some potential inundation. The good news right now for the river parishes is I haven't seen anything so high to bring us a flood potential here, and that's something I've been tracking really, really closely. Don't have that strongest wind driving at the right direction. It looks to be the longest winds driving to the northwest part of the lake. That would be the worst of the storm surge surrounding there. That's the 3 o'clock update and roundup here. We'll be back with more info, but Sola and Travers, back to you.
Yeah, that's really good news for places like St.